Ethan never planned to become part of an alien legend. He was just a human engineer, chosen because he was calm, patient, and good with machines. When Earth sent a small team to the alien world of Calthur, Ethan was there only to fix power, systems, and help with trade technology. He was not a soldier. He did not carry weapons. He did not expect danger. But Calthur was not like Earth. The sky was dark blue, and the air felt heavy. Massive stone towers surrounded the landing zone. Tall alien warriors stood in rows, wearing armor made from shining black metal. Their eyes were sharp, and their faces showed no warmth to them. Humans were weak. Ethan felt it the moment he stepped off the ship. Every alien eye followed him. Some whispered. Some smiled in a way that felt dangerous. Then she arrived. The alien. Princess Lyra walked forward, her armor lighter but more elegant than the warriors. Her silver eyes studied Ethan like he was a strange animal. She looked proud, confident, and amused, so Lyra said loudly, her voice calm but sharp, "This is the human?" The crowd of aliens laughed. Ethan stood still. His hands were shaking, but he kept his back straight. He had learned long ago that fear should never control your face. Lyra circled him slowly. "So small," she said. "So soft." More laughter followed. Ethan said nothing. Then Lyra stopped in front of him and smiled. It was not a kind smile. "Our trials are not meant for creatures like you," she said. "Even our strongest warriors fall." She turned too. The crowd and raised her voice. "But if this human survives our trials..." She paused, letting the moment grow. "I will marry him." The laughter exploded. Warriors slammed their weapons into the ground. Some aliens bent forward, laughing hard. To them, it was the best joke of the year. Ethan's heart dropped. He did not understand everything about alien culture, but he knew one thing. Trials meant death. Lyra expected him to panic. She expected him to run, but Ethan did something unexpected. He looked up. "I accept," he said. The laughter stopped. The silence was sudden and heavy. Lyra blinked. "You accept?" "Yes," Ethan replied. His voice was calm, even though his chest felt tight. "I accept the trials." The alien council members leaned forward. No human had ever accepted the trials before. Humans usually begged, refused, or fainted. Lyra's smile slowly faded. "You know what the trials are?" she asked. "I know they are dangerous," Ethan said. "But I won't run." The crowd began to whisper. The council leader raised his hand. "Once accepted," he said, "the trials cannot be refused." Lyra's eyes widened slightly. She had made a joke. But alien law did not care about jokes. "Very well," the council leader continued. "At dawn, the human will face the first trial." Ethan was escorted away. As the heavy doors closed behind him, his calm face finally broke. He leaned against the cold stone wall and took deep breaths. His hands were shaking badly now. "What did I just do?" he whispered. That night, Ethan was placed in a small stone chamber. No windows, no soft bed. Only a hard floor and dim light. He could hear distant alien sounds, metal moving, weapons being prepared. The trials were real. Across the fortress, Lyra stood alone on a balcony. She stared at the alien moon in the sky. The laughter from earlier still echoed in her mind. She had meant it as a joke. Humans never survived. But the way Ethan looked at her, not angry, not afraid, just determined. Something felt wrong. "What if," she whispered to herself. She shook her head. "Impossible." At dawn, a loud horn shook the fortress. Ethan was led into a massive arena carved into the stone. Thousands of aliens filled the stands. Their eyes burned with excitement. At the center of the arena was a dark path leading into shadows. The council leader spoke loudly. "The first trial begins now." Ethan stepped forward. The gates opened. And the darkness swallowed him. The crowd leaned forward. Lyra's hand slowly clenched. Because for the first time in her life, she was not laughing. Darkness closed around Ethan the moment he stepped through the gate. The noise of the arena disappeared. No cheers, no laughter. Only silence. The air inside felt colder. The ground beneath his feet was uneven, rough stone, mixed with metal plates. Dim lights slowly turned on, showing a long path ahead. High walls rose on both sides, too smooth to climb. Ethan swallowed hard. "This is just fear," he whispered to himself. Fear is not death. The first trial was not about strength. It was about the mind. Hidden speakers activated, sending low sounds through the walls. The noise was deep and disturbing, like something breathing in the dark. Shadows moved where no creatures stood. Ethan's heart started to race. The aliens knew fear well. They designed this trial to break confidence, to make even strong warriors lose control. Back in the stands, alien warriors watched closely. "Humans break easily," one of them said. Lyra sat forward in her seat. Her silver eyes followed the dark tunnel carefully. She expected to see the human panic. That was how it always ended, inside the trial. Ethan forced himself to move, step by step. Suddenly, the floor beneath him shifted. A loud metallic sound echoed as plates opened and closed. Near his feet, one wrong step would send him falling into darkness. Ethan stopped. He knelt down and touched the ground, feeling the vibration. The plates moved in a rhythm, slow, repeating. "They want me to rush," he realized. Alien warriors were taught to charge forward, to attack, to overpower, but Ethan waited. He counted the seconds. 1, 2, 3, then he moved. Each step matched the rhythm, slow, careful, calm. The watching aliens grew quiet. "He's thinking," one of them muttered. The shadows changed shape again. Now they looked like massive beasts, their glowing eyes fixed on Ethan. Loud roars filled the tunnel. Fear hit him hard. His hands shook. But he did not run, Ethan remembered. Something his father once said. "Fear grows when you look away from it." So Ethan looked straight ahead. He kept walking. The shadows lunged, but passed through him like smoke. It was an illusion. The trial was lying to him. In the stands, Lyra's breath caught. "No one sees that," she whispered. The final section of the tunnel appeared. A narrow bridge stretched across a deep pit. Far below, sharp metal spikes waited. The bridge shook violently. Alien warriors had fallen here before. Their strong bodies panicked when the bridge moved. Ethan stepped onto it. The bridge swung harder. His vision blurred. His stomach turned. He dropped to one knee and grabbed the side ropes. "Don't fight it," he whispered. "Balance with it." Slowly, carefully he moved forward, using the movement instead of resisting it. The arena was silent now. Then, Ethan reached the other side. A loud horn echoed. "The human has completed the first trial," the council leader announced. The arena exploded into noise, but not laughter. Shock. Disbelief. Lyra stood up without realizing it. Her heart was pounding. "He survived," she said softly. Ethan collapsed to one knee as the gate behind him opened. Alien guards approached, staring at him like he was something new, something dangerous. He was escorted out, exhausted but alive. As he passed Lyra, their eyes met. She expected pride or anger, but she saw something else. Calm. Not the calm of confidence, but the calm of someone who refused to quit for the first time. Lyra felt uneasy. That night, Ethan lay on the stone floor of his chamber. His whole body hurt. His mind replayed every moment of the trial. "I barely made it," he whispered. Across the fortress, the council argued. No human should have passed. One elder said, "But he did," another replied. "And the next trial is worse." Lyra stood silent. She had started this with a joke. Now the joke was gone. She looked toward Ethan's chamber. And for the first time, she wondered, What if the human survives them all? The second trial began without warning. Ethan was not given time to rest. 2 alien guards pulled him from his chamber and led him through narrow stone halls. His legs still shook from the first trial. Every step sent pain through his body. The arena looked different this time. No shadows. No darkness, only light. Bright white light filled a circular platform made of metal. Thick cables ran across the floor and disappeared into the walls. The air smelled sharp, like burned metal. Ethan's heart sank. This trial was not about fear. It was about pain. The council leader's voice echoed across the arena. The second trial tests endurance, he announced. Pain reveals truth. Alien. Warriors in the stands nodded. They respected pain. Many believed pain was the fastest way to break a weak mind. Ethan was led to the center of the platform. Metal bands closed around his wrists and ankles. They were cold and heavy. Lyra watched silently. She had seen this trial before. Strong alien warriors screamed here. Some fainted. Some begged to stop. The council leader raised his hand. Begin. A sharp pulse ran through the metal bands. Ethan gasped. Pain exploded through his arms and legs. His muscles tightened against his will. His teeth clenched so hard his jaw hurt. The crowd watched closely. The pulse stopped. Ethan breathed hard. That was only the start. One alien warrior whispered. The second pulse came stronger. Ethan cried out this time. His back arched as pain flooded his nerves. It felt like fire under his skin. His vision blurred. This is too much. His mind screamed. But then another thought pushed through. If I stop, I die. Ethan forced his breathing to slow. He focused on one simple thing. Counting. 1, 2, 3. The pulses continued. Stronger. Longer. Blood trickled from the corner of Ethan's mouth. His hands shook violently inside the restraints. The aliens began to murmur. He should be broken by now. Lyra gripped the edge of her seat. She could see the damage on Ethan's body. His skin was burned where the bands touched him. Stop, she whispered. But she did not speak out loud. The trial was law. Another pulse struck. Ethan screamed. Then, silence. The pain stopped suddenly. Ethan's head fell forward. His body went limp. The arena went quiet. He's finished, someone said. The council leader stepped forward. Check his condition. At that moment, Ethan lifted his head. Slowly. Pain still burned inside him, but his eyes were open. I'm still here, he said weakly. Shock rippled through the crowd. The restraints released. Ethan collapsed to the floor, gasping for air. Alien medics rushed forward to keep him alive. The human has endured the second trial, the council leader announced. The words echoed like thunder. Lyra stood up, unable to hide it anymore. No one applauded. No one laughed. The aliens were afraid. Later that night, Ethan lay in a healing chamber. His body floated in warm liquid that eased the pain, but his mind stayed awake. Why am I still alive? He wondered. Across the room, Lyra watched through a transparent wall. Her expression was no longer proud. It was troubled. He did not resist. The pain, one elder said beside her. He accepted it. Lyra nodded slowly. That scared her more than strength ever could. She remembered her joke. If he survives, I will marry him. It no longer sounded funny. As Ethan closed his eyes, exhausted, a new thought settled in his mind. If this was only the second trial, what kind of monster is the third? And somewhere deep inside the alien fortress, the next trial was already being prepared. The third trial was different. No arena. No crowd. Ethan was led deep below the fortress, where the walls were old and cracked. The air smelled of dust and rust. This place felt forgotten. His body still ached from the second trial. Every breath reminded him how close he had come to death. Alien guards stopped in front of a massive metal door. This trial tests honor, one guard said coldly. The door opened. Inside was a wide chamber filled with broken machines, hanging cables, and deep pits covered by thin metal plates. Dim lights flickered above. Ethan stepped inside. The door slammed shut behind him. Calm alien voice filled the room. In this trial, you will face a choice. Metal screens lit up, showing 3 alien captives. They were young warriors badly injured and chained above separate pits. If you act alone, you may escape, the voice continued. If you help them, you will likely die. Ethan's heart pounded. This was not about strength or pain. It was about selfishness. The alien council watched from a hidden chamber. Many leaned forward with interest. No one helps others here, an elder said. Not even our own kind. Lyra stood still, her arms crossed tightly. She knew this trial well. Most chose themselves. Ethan walked slowly across the chamber, studying the machines. The floor plates shifted under his feet. One wrong step would send him falling. He looked at the captives. They stared back with fear. And shame. Why show me this? Ethan asked quietly. The voice replied, because true nature is revealed when survival is at stake. Ethan closed his eyes for a moment. Then he made his choice. He moved toward the captives. Shock rippled through the hidden observers. He's wasting time, one alien muttered. Ethan examined the chains. They were powered by the same system controlling the floor traps. If I shut this down wrong, everything collapses, he whispered. Sweat rolled down his face. He rerouted power using exposed cables, burning his hands in the process. Sparks flew. Alarms sounded. The floor plates began to open. One captive screamed. Ethan shoved him forward, pushing him to safety just as the ground collapsed behind them. Pain shot through Ethan's leg as a plate snapped shut on it. He cried out but did not stop. One by one, he freed the captives. By the time the last chain fell, the chamber was shaking violently. Evacuate now, the voice warned. The captives ran. Ethan limped after them. The exit door slammed open just before the entire chamber collapsed. Ethan fell onto the stone floor outside. Barely conscious, the captives turned back. They stared at him in disbelief. He chose us, one whispered. The council chamber was silent. Lyra felt her chest tighten. He could have walked away, she said softly, but he didn't. The council leader spoke slowly. The human has completed the 3rd trial. The words felt heavier than any before. Later, as alien medics treated Ethan, Lyra approached him. Why? She asked quietly. You gain nothing by saving them. Ethan opened his eyes. Someone once saved me, he said. That's enough. Lyra said nothing, but deep inside something changed. The 3rd trial was meant to break his pride. Instead, it revealed his soul. The 4th trial was announced at sunset. This time, the entire fortress gathered. Ethan stood in the center of the grand arena, his body still healing but far from strong. Bandages covered his arms and leg. Every movement reminded him how close he was to breaking. The aliens noticed. That human is finished, one warrior said. He cannot survive another trial. Lyra stood beside the council. Her face was calm, but her hands were not. They were clenched tightly. The council leader raised his staff. The 4th trial tests worth, he declared. Only those born strong deserve to stand. The ground beneath Ethan suddenly opened. He fell, not into darkness, but into sand. He landed hard inside a massive pit. The walls were smooth and high. There was no way out. Then the sand moved. From beneath it rose a creature made of stone and metal. It was tall, heavy, and built only to destroy. Its eyes glowed red as it locked onto Ethan. A silence fell over the arena. Even alien champions had died here. Ethan pushed himself up slowly. His legs screamed in pain. I can't win this by force, he thought. The creature charged. The ground shook with every step it took. Ethan ran not away, but sideways. He studied the pit as he moved. The sand shifted differently in certain places, weak spots. The creature swung its massive arm. Ethan barely avoided it. The shockwave sent him rolling across the sand. Blood filled his mouth. "Get up," he whispered. To himself, "Just get up." The creature struck again. This time, Ethan jumped onto its arm, ignoring the pain tearing through his body. He climbed quickly, reaching a joint where metal met stone. He slammed his fist into a loose plate. Nothing. The creature shook violently. Trying to throw him off. Ethan screamed, but held on. With one final, the plate broke free. Sparks exploded. The red glow in the creature's eyes flickered, then stopped. The giant collapsed into the sand. The arena went completely silent. No cheers. No words. Ethan slid down and fell to his knees. He could barely breathe. The council leader stood slowly. "The human has completed the 4th trial." The words felt unreal. Lyra's heart pounded. She looked at Ethan, not with fear now, but with something deeper. Respect. Later that night, Ethan sat alone, staring at his hands. They were shaking. "I'm not strong," he whispered. "I just don't quit." In another chamber, the council argued fiercely. He should not be alive. He breaks every rule. He changes everything. Lyra listened quietly. Finally she spoke. "He does not win because he is human," she said. "He wins because he refuses to give up." The elders fell silent. Far below the fortress, machines began preparing the next trial, the final trial, one that no outsider had ever survived. As Ethan closed his eyes, exhausted, one truth became clear. The trials were no longer testing him. They were afraid of what he might become. There were no cheers this time. No music. No announcements. Ethan was taken from his chamber before sunrise. The halls were silent, guarded by elite warriors wearing black armor. Even they avoided his eyes. The final trial was different. It was not held in the arena. It was held in the deep core, a place forbidden to outsiders. As the doors opened, Ethan felt cold air rush over him. The chamber was huge, round and empty, except for one thing: a single platform, floating over a glowing energy pit. If he fell, there would be nothing left of him. The council appeared on high balconies. Their faces were serious now. "The final trial tests truth," the council leader said. "No tricks. No machines to outthink." Lyra stood beside him, silent. Her silver eyes never left Ethan. Ethan stepped onto the platform. Immediately, the energy pit reacted. The platform began to move, slowly spinning, rising and falling. Then a new voice echoed, not from speakers, but from inside his head. "Why do you fight?" Ethan froze. The trial was inside his mind. Images flooded his thoughts. Earth, his family, the wars humans had lost. The times humans were called weak. "You will die here," the voice said. "And no one will remember you." Ethan's knees shook. This trial attacked doubt. Alien warriors had failed here, not because of fear, but because they believed the voice. The platform tilted sharply. Ethan almost fell. "No," he said quietly. "That's not true," the voice laughed. "You are small. You are alone." Ethan remembered every moment of pain, every trial, every choice. "I am not alone," he said. "I carry everyone who didn't quit." The platform steadied. The energy pit flared brighter. The voice changed. "If you survive, the princess must marry you. Do you want that power?" Lyra stiffened. The entire council watched closely. Ethan closed his eyes. "I don't want power," he said. "I want respect." The platform stopped moving. Silence filled the chamber. Then the final test began. A solid shape rose from the energy, an exact copy of Ethan himself. Same face, same injuries. "Defeat yourself," the council leader said. The copy attacked. Ethan blocked weakly. His body was exhausted. Every hit hurt twice as much. The copy whispered, "You can rest. Just fall." Ethan was thrown to the edge of the platform, one step away from death. He looked up at Lyra. She was no longer a princess watching the trial. She was someone afraid of losing him. Ethan pushed himself up. "I won't fall," he said. "Not today." He did not strike harder. He stepped forward and embraced the copy. The energy flared violently. The copy screamed and vanished. The platform lowered gently to the floor. The council stood in shock. "The final trial is complete," the leader said slowly. Lyra's breath caught. Ethan collapsed to his knees. Alive, the council chambers erupted in argument. But one thing was clear. The human had survived everything. And now, alien law demanded payment. Lyra remembered her words, "I'll marry him." Her joke had become destiny. She looked at Ethan. And for the first time, she didn't know whether to fear the law or fear how much she respected the human who broke it. The fortress was silent. No one celebrated. No one spoke. Ethan stood in the center of the council chamber, weak but alive. His body carried marks from every trial, but his eyes were clear, calm, unbroken. The council leader raised his staff. "By ancient law," he said, "the words of the royal blood are binding." All eyes turned to Princess Lyra. Her joke echoed in the chamber. "If he survives, I will marry him." Lyra's heart pounded. She stepped forward slowly. Her face was pale, but her posture remained proud. The human has survived all trials. The chaos was pale, but her posture remained proud. Leader continued, "The bond must be honored." A wave of shock moved through the aliens. Lyra looked at Ethan. She expected hunger for power, but victory. Instead, Ethan looked tired. She took a deep breath. "Ethan of Earth," she said, voice steady, "by our law, I am yours." The chamber waited. This was the moment the galaxy expected. Ethan lifted his head and shook it. "No," he said. The word hit harder than any trial. The council froze. Lyra blinked. "You refuse?" "I do," Ethan replied calmly. "I didn't survive to own someone. And I didn't fight to take a crown." Murmurs exploded across the chamber. Refusing a royal bond was unheard of. Lyra stared at him, shocked. "Then why?" she asked softly. Ethan took a slow breath. "I fought because humans are always judged before they are known," he said. "I fought so you would see us not as weak, not as jokes, but as equals." The council leader's voice trembled. "What do you ask in return?" Ethan looked around the chamber. "Respect," he said. "Peace, and a future where no human must bleed to be seen." Silence fell again. Then something unexpected happened. Lyra lowered herself and bowed. A princess had bowed to a human. The chamber erupted. "He has changed everything. This breaks tradition. This saves it." Lyra looked up at Ethan, her silver eyes shining. "You survived our trials," she said. "But you also survived our pride." She smiled softly. "That is rarer than strength." The council voted that day. Not for marriage, but for alliance. Humanity was no longer weak. Humanity was resilient. As Ethan prepared to leave Kelthar, Lyra met him one last time at the landing platform. "You refused a princess," she said. "Most would call you foolish." Ethan smiled faintly. "Maybe." She stepped closer. "If there were no laws, no jokes, no trials, would you stay?" Ethan looked at the stars. "Maybe someday," he said. "When we meet as equals." Lyra watched the ship rise into the sky. For the first time in her life, she smiled because of a human. And across the galaxy, the story spread, not about a princess and a marriage, but about a human who faced impossible trials and chose honor over power.